I'm Anna Gatman, and I'm the author of Living a Spiritual Life in a Material World, 4 Keys to Fulfillment and Balance. This book came out just over a year ago in August of 2017. It was very exciting and taken me a few years to write the book and publish it. And so in this past year, I've been focused on promoting the book. I did it through speaking events, book events in bookstores, being a guest on many great and wonderful radio shows, and I did a TEDx talk. And so I really focused on promoting the book. And through my travels and speaking in front of people, with people, I tried to understand what challenges people have around spiritual development and integrating the spiritual and the material into their daily life. And so a few themes emerged as a result of talking to people. And I want to share with you some of those themes, and they also coincide with my own personal growth, because this year of promoting the book is something I had never done and was challenging at first to come out and speak in public, but now I'm enjoying it and it's fun. I wanted to grow the work to the next level as well, and was wondering what's the next step after writing the book and then promoting it. What's next? And so I want to share with you some of the themes that came up from speaking and working with people over this past year. So the first theme that emerged from speaking with people and working with people was that while spiritual development is something that we do privately, quietly, without other people maybe knowing about it, it can be a lonely path. And we really need the support and the accountability in the community to do it. That's why people join a church or a congregation or an ashram. And so when people are not part of a specific faith, but they're more in a private, personal spiritual journey, there isn't always a place to go for support and accountability and community. So that was the first thing that I realized, that there's a need for that. The second theme focused on this narrow perception that we all seem to have regarding different things that have to do with spiritual development. So most of us believe that a spiritual practice should be meditating 20 minutes in the morning. That's the minimum that we should be doing. If we're not doing that, then we're not really spiritual. And the amount of people I met that are really struggling with doing something that seems relatively simple, just meditate 20 minutes in the morning, but how hard it is. And so how much self-hatred there is in feeling that people are not spiritual enough because they can't do this simple practice. Well, actually, there's so many other ways to be spiritual, and there's so many other ways to practice being spiritual throughout your day, even while you're driving down the highway, or in the park during lunch, or in your team meeting at work, or as a parent, endless throughout your day. So we have a very limited belief about spiritual practice. There's also a very limiting belief about spiritual material balance. Many times when I finish my talk, people would say, I was really surprised the way you spoke about spiritual material balance. I expected you to speak about how we need to deny our material existence and value our spiritual existence. And here you are talking about us needing to mend this split in the gap, and that actually everything material is an expression of spiritual aspiration, a high aspiration or a low aspiration, but everything material is an expression of human spirit. It's all designed by humans, created by humans, and the human spirit, the human creativity, the hard work, the imagination. And so people were very surprised that I was actually arguing that we need to integrate the material and the spiritual. And so again, a very narrow understanding of the relationship between the spiritual and the material. And the third theme was really something that I realized that was my personal journey in this past year, that the first step is really about spiritual material balance and the subtitle of my book is 4 Keys to Fulfillment and Balance. And I realized that balance is just the first step. It's the step to realizing how out of balance we are. How much many of us are either more materially engaged or spiritually engaged, and that we really need to be in the balance of the two. But I realized that that's just the first step. I realized that the second step is spiritual material abundance. We all long for both spiritual abundance and material abundance. In my book, I speak about the one characteristic that is common to all spiritual experiences, and that's a sense of expansiveness. Some of us can experience it through grace or through gratitude or through grounding or through inner peace, but that is the common theme of all spiritual experiences. And it is also the common theme of how luminaries and sages and saints throughout the ages lived and how they gained wisdom. They reside for long periods of time in this expansive state of consciousness. And in the book, I go into more details about how you can expand daily in very simple and accessible ways. And so these themes of spiritual material balance, and then spiritual material abundance, and the theme of expansiveness, and the limiting beliefs that we have about spiritual practice and spiritual teachings, gave birth to the expansive community that I've decided to create, where I help change makers create spiritual material abundance. So if you're not a member yet of our new Expansive Community Facebook group, then please go to the link below and join us. I've also decided to start a free book club where we're going to read a chapter from my book every week, and where you'll get to engage with me and experience meditations and exercises and share your challenges and your longings. And I'm also planning to create a membership community, but more about that later on. So for now, just go to the link below, join our Facebook group, and let's start expanding together. Blessings.